Hello, and today I am going to teach you how to set a static IP address. What do we mean by static? Think of the word stasis, to stay still. So normally, uh, typically is the DHCP settings are defaulting for all internet connections on a Windows 10 computer, and actually most devices in general, not just PCs, Macs as well. DHCP is the default, which is the Dynamic Hosting Control Protocol, and that is configuration protocol. Uh, and that is the um, that is the default. So a dynamic protocol automatically assigns the IP address to your computer through your network adapter, whether it is a Wi-Fi or a LAN adapter. But there are some cases where static IP, setting an IP address yourself manually, is a more superior option. It works better on custom servers, or if you need a specific IP address that works, the number works better than automatically finding one. So there are definitely protocols you would use for that. And we're going to set it in Internet Protocol version 4, which is IPv4, which is the most commonly used um, IP protocol. There is IPv6. IPv4 has a total of 5 billion combinations. IPv6 is it's over 5 centillion, so basically infinite. But IPv4 is a lot less complex in the numbering than IPv6, so it's more popular still than IPv6. So let's begin. So first, you want to load up the command prompt. I would type CMD in the Windows search, and then load up your command prompt. Prefer to always do this as administrator, so right click, run as administrator is the first thing you will do. And then we will type the following command: ipconfig /all. This will bring up all the information we need about your connection. So you'll see in this slide here, I did block out some numbers for privacy, but you can still use this as a guide. The DNS servers part that's circled, you actually won't be using those numbers. That is not your local DNS domain naming system. That is your that's coming from your from the device. So we don't necessarily need that information, but what you definitely need is the IPv4 address, because this is the one that you're going to be changing. The subnet mask, which is like a guide, a mask for determining the amount of maximum amount of digits. Then your default gateway is your computer's unique IP address. And the DNS server will actually, that we'll be using, won't be those numbers below, but it'll match the default gateway address. So we're going to need all that. I would take a screenshot of your configuration and keep it on the side, because when you change these settings, you're going to want to cross-check everything. So next, we will load up the control panel. So you'll want to load that. I prefer to use the control panel than to do this with command prompt or through Windows 10. I find it works best through here. And then you'll want to go to network and internet settings below. Click that. And then you'll want to go to click Network and Sharing Center. Then you will go to click on your connection that is currently connected to the internet. Some people have more than one, but the one, we'll just assume there's one for now, and you want to click that right there. Could be Wi-Fi or Ethernet. Okay, and it'll bring up a status page. Click the properties button below, not where it says wireless properties. That's not going to do any good. Just click the right there. You might need to authorize it with Windows. That's fine. Just hit yes. Next would be you'll see the properties for your wireless device. You want to highlight Internet Protocol version 4, and then click the properties button below on the right. Like I said, we're not going to do IPv6 just because it's so complex for the amount of digits that it just gets tiresome to retype that much, so it's not necessary at the moment. Eventually in the future, IPv6 will overtake IPv4, but IPv4 has been thriving pretty well and is still a popular option. Alright, so now we're going to change where it says I obtain IP address automatically, also known as DHCP, to manual, which is use the following IP address, and then also where it says use the following DNS should be changed. Okay, so you'll type in your new IP address. I recommend just changing one digit at the end, up or down, for a very quick fix. The subnet mask, which you can find the information on the screenshot you took from your command prompt IP config, and then the default gateway you'll fill in. Preferred DNS server will be the same as the default gateway, and then alternate DNS server, we just like to use 8888. I don't think it is very significant, but just I would type it like that. If you want, you could validate. I don't find the validation is very useful. It only takes about 30 seconds, but that's optional. Hit OK when you're done. Okay. Go back to your first thing we're going to do. Go back to the command prompt, and we're going to type again ipconfig all. Then we're just going to make sure it worked. Make sure the IP addresses matches the new IP address that you typed in. If you did, then successful. And then we're going to run one more test. We're going to type, we're going to test it. We're going to type ping, open a new command prompt, or go back, new command, type ping google.com, and it's going to basically test that your site would load google.com with normal web server, HTTPS, whatever, and what you'll see is the statistics will pop up. You'll see ping statistics. It'll talk about packets sent 4, received 4, so that's a perfect test. Loss 0, 0% loss. Then you know it's working. And then it just talks about the timing, and that's pretty much it. I would also just load up a web browser, double check it's working again, but you have successfully set a static IPv4 Internet Protocol 4 address. Thank you.